How do you humble yourself to finally acknowledge that something that needed to happen and actually needed to happen a long time ago is the right path for now and maybe forever? I know that I've been sharing my heart a lot for the last few months here and there regarding something that just upended me. The great love of my life and I parted ways. That was not my decision. And the first couple of weeks were not good. I know I've referenced my mini breakdown. I was not hospitalized. I just cleared the decks. I canceled all my work appointments. I spent a lot of time in bed, which is not like me. I had people bring me food. I went to my yoga mat every day in tears. I took very slow walks with a couple of friends. And if anybody knows me, you know I do not walk slowly. But I didn't have the energy. I was completely distraught. And part of that too was having to look at my own self and how I had contributed to the breakdown of the relationship, because it was both of us. And I think in most cases, that's probably the situation, but most people would deny that, always blaming somebody else. But I was able to spend time last weekend at a coffee place halfway between us for about 4 hours and have a raw conversation, a lot of tears, laughs. And later this week, this past week or last week, I came into two epiphanies. I'm not sure they were epiphanies. I think they were things I already knew, but I couldn't acknowledge them. And here's what I concluded. Number one, we needed to break. I told my son at Christmas when I was visiting him, we were having some talks. I had kicked and screamed for years after my love had put us in a long distance relationship. That was not my choice. That's on him. And I told my son, I said, I'm ready to just put down my sword. I've been over Virginia Beach forever. I was ready to start the process of moving to Central Virginia, which is a beautiful part of the state. And things just did not go as I had hoped. But the other thing I told my son was that we needed to break. I said he and I absolutely needed to break. This is when I had asked for space to contemplate some things and have to look at my own contributions to the breakdown of the relationship. I'm saying this to you, so I hope it helps you in your own relationships, either now or going forward. But anyway, the conversation didn't go as I had planned with my former significant other. And what I had to acknowledge this past week through my own sifting, through my own journaling and prayer is, yes, number one, we needed to break. And for a good while. And who knows, maybe forever. That's not my call. But when there's static, or in the old days, there was static on the TV and you could unplug it. Or sometimes when there's an internet issue, you unplug for a while. Or sometimes if there's an issue with your phone or your tablet or something, you shut it off for a while and then power it back up. It's necessary. And relationships are no different. Sometimes when two people have muddied the waters, even if they deeply love each other, there needs to be a break. And yes, there were a couple of times in the course of my very long relationship where each of us one time walked away, and for good reason. But this is different. And my heart hurts and my heart is heavy, but I've had to acknowledge that. And the other thing I've had to acknowledge is that I needed breaking. So that little breakdown I had at the beginning of January helped me to really see my own contributions to the demise of my relationship, to see them clearly. It humbled me. I've never been to such a dark place, and it really humbled me. I mean, I am a yoga instructor. I am a yogini, but truly now I am living through the breaths, and I know what it means to live one day at a time. I've been trying to live my life like that for the past several years. But I'm really living like that now. Sometimes we need to break. Relationships need to break. People need to break to be able to see clearly, to humble themselves. And I actually gave thanks, even through my pain, even through my heavy heart, even though I miss this person tremendously. I had to acknowledge that we needed the break and I needed to break. I can't speak for anybody else. I have to speak for myself. The hard part in situations like this, especially when people love each other and they say they're still in love with each other, is not holding on to a false hope. That's the tricky part. Hope is one of my top 3 values. I am a believer that you make something work if you want it to work. Now, have I always lived by that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And not in that relationship either. And I deeply regret that. But I can't do anything about it right now. All I can do is try to be my best and to move forward in love as friends and not living with a false hope that we're going to find our way back together as a couple. You just can't live like that. You have to go on with your life. And I allowed myself to be stuck for far too many years in a relationship that was not moving forward for different reasons. It's not for public consumption. But it's been a hard journey. These last few months have been hard. But at the same time, God has broken me, and it has helped me, hopefully, to be on a path to truly be the best version of myself and to reconnect with the person that he fell in love with, the person my late husband fell in love with. These things are hard. And when we go through things, it's so easy to blame someone else. But the truth is, most relationships are two-way streets. And sometimes things need to break. And that little delicate dance is, as you're trying to be friends and show love, you can't park yourself in the hope that it's going to come back together and be something beautiful. Could that happen for anybody? It could, but you can't park there. And that's the hard part. That's the really hard part. So think today, for those of you who are happily married or happily in a partnership like I was years ago, and even different times over this long distance period, own that. Invest in your person. Keep investing. And for those of you who are not in good situations, just ask yourself, do we need a timeout? Do we need a timeout? And for how long? In my case, it's open-ended. This isn't any like, hey, we're going to take this time out and in July we're going to get back together. No rhetoric like that going on. But think about your own situation. And is the other person really to blame for everything that's happening? Or how have you contributed to it? That's a hard place to go. That's a really hard place to go. And it's a hard place to own. And today, in my pain, in my heavy heart, I've made it through this reel without crying. I am grateful that we broke. And I am grateful that I broke. Can't predict the future. You just take it one day at a time. You live your life and you plan your life. Hope you'll take that to heart. And I hope you have a great day and a great week.